Good morning, children. Today we are going to study about the germination of seed in this module. In the previous modules, we have already discussed about the bean seed and about the maize grain. We have seen a comparative account on the bean seed and the maize grain. And now it's time to know about the germination of these types of seeds. Every seeds, they remain in a period of dormancy, or they remain inactive for a certain period of time. A seed contains inactive embryo, and this embryo remains in the dormant phase until it attains good or favorable condition to get active. If you see apparently a dry seed, you will see that it's a lifeless. But in fact, there are various chemical activities that keeps on going inside, maybe in a very less rate, but it goes on. A period of rest, which is known as the period of dormancy, where seed prepare itself for the germination. In this phase only, the seed undergoes certain physiological maturation. That means certain enzymes keep on acting inside in a very less rate, but it keeps on doing so. So here there's an error. Please note down. It will be the dormant. Here it is written dormant. Dormant, but it will be N is missing. It is dormant. So the dry seed, when you place it in the favorable condition, the favorable condition for the germination of seed counts air, water and sunlight. Basically, sunlight or the exposure of sunlight regulates the temperature favorable for the germination of seed or the growth of the plant or seedling. So, when all these three factors are provided to a seed, seed starts germinating at the end of its period of dormancy. The dry seed consumes oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide, though in very less amount, but they do so. Students, it is not necessary that every time when the seed is dispersed out from the plant, from the fruit, immediately it will start the germination, because each and every seed undergoes this period of rest. Okay? It is very much important, and every seed has to undergo this period of dormancy or the period of rest. So students, we can say that germination is the process of the formation of seedling developed from the embryo. The picture behind or in the background that you can see is a picture of a seedling. A very small plantlet coming out of the seed, or the seed is germinating. Here also in the background you can see how the seed is germinating, and it germinates into a seedling and then into a plantlet. So conditions required for the germination are water, temperature and oxygen. So how could you prove that the water is necessary for the germination? There are experiments. Okay, so again here is a mistake. I would denote it. The mistake is basically in this. The spelling error is there. Just a minute, it will be 2. Experiment to prove that water is necessary for germination. It will be TO2. So students, we have taken 2 beaker A and beaker B. In beaker A, you can see it has been shown in the diagram. The seed are kept in a dry cotton wool, and in beaker B, the seed has been kept on wet cotton wool. So at last or after 1 or 2 days, the germination of the seed has been noted in beaker B. But there is no germination in beaker A. So why is it so that the seeds did not germinated in the first beaker? And why is it so that the seeds in beaker B germinated after 2 days? Because water is one of the important or the necessary factor for the germination of seed. In this beaker B, seeds soaked the water from the wet cotton, which is not available in beaker A. Here the cotton wool is dry. So that is why simply the seed did not get water in beaker A and therefore did not germinated. But in case of beaker B, they got the water and germinated. So let's sum up. The importance of water is, first of all, seeds, from where do they obtain the water? They obtain it from the soil. And how this water enters into the seed? It obtains from the soil and the water enters into the seed through micropyle. Water on getting inside makes the seed swell, and the swelling of the seed coat or swelling of the seed enable the seed coat to rupture. Now you must be asking that if the seed coat is a protective layer, ma'am, then why is it important to rupture or the rupturing of the seed coat? Because if the seed coat do not rupture, the radical will not be able to come out from the seed. So just because the seed coat is quite hard, thick and rough and tough, so in that case radical is a soft tissue. It contains soft young tissue which won't be able to come out if the seed coat will be there. Okay, so therefore seed coat ruptures because the swelling that happens due to absorption of water and helps the radical to come out. And once the radical comes out, it goes deep down into the soil and keep on going down into the soil and develops or fully matures into a root and anchors the seedling. Next, water activates enzymes. As I have told you in the previous class that cotyledons or endosperm, they do contain the food. But it is not that much that if the food is present in the cotyledon, that's not sufficient. No. Embryo should utilize the food. Embryo should get the food. So, in order to maintain or order to make the food available for the embryo, what happens? The water activates certain enzymes. These enzymes diffuses the endosperm or the cotyledons, or the food which is present there in the endosperm or in the cotyledon, that is in the form of starch. So enzymes basically they do break down this, they diffuse it and make it available to the growing embryo. So for the embryo, it is very much important that it should obtain the food. So the enzymes diffuse or break down the food which is present there in form of endosperm in the cotyledon due to the trigger. What does it do? I mean, how does it do? Water triggers this. Next thing is that apart from water, what is the other necessary factor? It is the temperature. Temperature is very much important for a life to get germinate. For a life, warmth is very much important. If there is no warmth, there is no life. Okay, so therefore temperature or the warmth in our planet is basically controlled by the chief source of energy, that is the sun. Okay, so in our planet, if you talk about Earth, what is the chief source of energy? It is the sun. So sunlight is very important for plants. Here, temperature that is required for the seed germination is ideally 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. And it's the ideal temperature. I'm not only concerned about the germination of the seeds, but any of the germination or any of the evolution or how the life evolve, in which temperature the life can evolve is this temperature only. 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. If I talk about this, the seed that are taken into 2 beakers, and this time both the beaker contain wet cotton clothes or wet cotton. Now in beaker A, seeds are kept in a wet cotton and that beaker is particularly kept in a normal room. And in another beaker B, if we take the seed in wet cotton, but that beaker B will not be kept in a normal temperature or the normal room, it will be refrigerated. Okay. Now, if we will refrigerate, automatically inside the refrigerator, the temperature is quite low, lower than 25 degrees Celsius. So after 1 or 2 days, what you will observe is that the beaker A that you have kept in the normal room, in that the seeds kept in the wet cotton will show germination. At the same time, if you see or if you observe in beaker B, you will not be able to see, you won't see any kind of seed germination. Lesser temperature or the absence of warmth do not support the evolution of life. So very low temperature inhibits embryo's growth. Very high temperature destroys delicate tissues. So optimum temperature or the temperature optimization is very important. It should be 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, that favors the germination. So students, that's all for today. Next module we will make on the other 2 experiments given in your book. We will discuss about the other 2 factors. Your homework will be to write down the definition of germination, definition of period of dormancy, write down the importance of necessary factor for germination. Number 1, water, and number 2, temperature. Thank you and have a good day.